The loudest sound at my grandmother's funeral wasn't the organ, it was my mother's whisper. Why did he even come? Grandma never liked his kids. She meant my kids, and she said it loud enough that heads turned. My son Miles was in a black suit with a tag still tucked inside the sleeve. He flinched. My daughter Sophie gripped the program with both hands, staring straight ahead the way she does when she's trying not to cry. Freeze your face, pretend you're made of stone. My father heard my mother and smiled like she'd made a clever joke. I didn't argue. I stood up. The pew creaked, too loud in that quiet church. I took Miles's hand, then Sophie's, and we walked out into the cold. On the steps, Miles asked, "Did we do something bad?" That question burned, because my kids had learned to ask if they were the problem. I crouched between them. "No," I said. "You didn't do anything wrong." The church door opened behind us, and a man in a charcoal coat stepped out. Not family, not lost. "Caleb Rowan?" he asked. I nodded. He handed me a thick envelope. "I'm Mr. Keene, your grandmother Evelyn's attorney. She instructed me to give you this today. There's a formal reading of the will in 3 days." In the car, I opened it and found a letter in Grandma's handwriting. "My sweet boy," it began. "If you're reading this, I didn't get to say goodbye the way I wanted." She wrote about Miles watering her porch plant like it was his job, about Sophie's drawings on her fridge, and the line that made my stomach drop. "I know what they say when you aren't in the room." She'd been keeping track, not to shame me, to protect me. Dates, amounts, checks, the monthly money I'd been sending for years, the emergencies, the repairs I paid for, my sister's temporary crises that never ended. At the bottom she wrote, "You don't have to buy your place in this family, and your children will not be treated like guests in it." 3 days later, we sat in Mr. Keene's conference room. My mother wore black pearls like armor. My father looked bored. My sister Tara tapped her foot, irritated. Mr. Keene opened the file. "Evelyn Rowan leaves her home at 214 Willow Ridge to her grandson, Caleb Rowan." My mother blinked like she didn't understand English. He continued, "A trust for Miles and Sophie. College money structured so my parents couldn't touch it." My mother's jaw tightened. My father went still. Then Mr. Keene read what my mother had expected to be her moment. "To my daughter Diane, I leave my jewelry box and the quilt from the cedar chest." Tara blurted, "What about—" Mr. Keene lifted a hand. "There's an attached letter to be read aloud." My mother snapped. "No." "Yes," he said evenly. "It's part of the will." He read Grandma's words about watching them take from me while pretending my children didn't exist. About how love doesn't come with invoices. About how family doesn't get to erase kids just because they're inconvenient. My mother exploded. "He manipulated her!" I didn't raise my voice. "Is there anything I need to sign today?" Mr. Keene slid papers toward me. My mother leaned across the table. "Caleb, don't you dare!" I picked up the pen and signed. Mr. Keene nodded. "One more item. Evelyn left documentation of loans. Promissory notes. Signed." My mother scoffed. "Loans? $18,400 to Diane and Frank over 7 years," he read, "and $6,200 to Tara. Repayment is due to the estate." That's when the screaming started, outside the office, in voicemails and texts about blood and betrayal. Not one message asked if Sophie was sleeping. Not one asked if Miles was okay. When I finally answered, I kept it simple. "I'm not your backup bank, and I'm done funding a family my kids aren't part of." My father snapped, "You can't handle that house." I looked at my kitchen table, Sophie's craft scratches, Miles's homework, and said, "I can. I just won't handle you." Then I hung up. That first holiday in Grandma's living room, Sophie hung the glass angel. Miles put the star on top. Sophie whispered, "It feels like she's still here." I nodded. "Yeah, it does. I wasn't their wallet anymore. I was my kid's dad." And finally, that was enough. One word comment. Enough or vindicated.